Dear students, now let's see about the remaining, the topics of this 9th lesson, freedom struggle in Tamil Nadu. Movement was started against the Congress. Non-Dravidian movements was started here in Tamil Nadu. It was just against the Congress. So it was felt that the Brahmins were given too much of importance all over India and particularly in Tamil Nadu. So against Congress, so the non-Dravidian movement was started, and E.V. Periyar, fondly he was, actually his name was E.V. Ramasamy, but we fondly call him as Periyar. Let us see the non-Brahmin movement that was started here in Tamil Nadu. So the South Indian Liberal Federation, SILF, South Indian Liberal Federation was started in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so it was organized in the year 1912. Madras Dravidian Association also was founded in the year 1912. See, Nadesanar played an active role as its secretary. Who was the secretary? Nadesanar was its secretary. Okay, Madras Dravidian Association. In June 1916, he established the Dravidian Association hostel for non-Brahmin students. The hostel only meant for the non-Brahmin students. Okay. So on 20th November 1916, a meeting of about 30 non-Brahmins, a meeting who participated in that, and non-Brahmins participated, was held under the leadership of Tyagarayar and Dr. T.M. Nair and C. Nadesanar at Victoria Public Hall in Chennai. So the South Indian Liberal Federation was founded to promote the interests of the non-Brahmins. So what is the main objective of South Indian Liberal Federation? Okay, to promote the interest, to see the welfare of the non-Brahmins, okay, people of Tamil Nadu. Next, let's see about Justice Party. So the Congress boycotted the election of 1920. So in the election that took place in the year 1920, Congress boycotted. It refused to take part in that. So who was the only party contest here in Tamil Nadu? Justice Party. Okay, on behalf of the Tamilians, Indians, Justice Party was contested. It contested the election here in Tamil Nadu with the British. So the Justice Party won 63 out of 98 elected seats in the Legislative Council. Who won the election now? Justice Party, because no Congress participation here in Tamil Nadu. Subbarayalu of the Justice Party became the first Chief Minister. Okay, so after the 1923 elections, Raja of Panagal of the Justice Party formed the ministry. So this is how Justice Party ruled Tamil Nadu during this time. Now let's see about government's repressive measures, Rowlatt Act. So in the Gandhian phase, in the previous lesson, 8th lesson itself, we have seen about Rowlatt Act. It was called as Black Act. Do you remember? So draconian, even in the previous class I told you what is draconian. Actually Draco was an Athenian lawgiver. Okay, he drawn law which was very severe even for a trivial as small mistakes or the crime was done by people. If even a small crime was done, they were given draconian, a severe punishment that was brought by draconian in Athens. You all have read about Athenians in the 9th standard. So Rowlatt Act that was brought in the year 1919, Black Act, which was known as Black Act, introduced draconian punishment. Okay, so according to the Rowlatt Act, anyone could be put in prison without any warrant. Okay, so thus it agitated the Indians. Many were arrested under the Rowlatt Act that was brought in the year 1990, draconian punishment. Okay, so under the act Indians were aghast at this. Gandhiji gave voice to the anger of the people. So he acted for the favor of the people, Gandhiji, and in that time only he introduced the Satyagraha that he practiced in South Africa. We read that, we saw that in the previous lesson itself. Now Rowlatt Satyagraha. So what are the Satyagraha that took place here in Tamil Nadu? Okay, so in the year 1990, Gandhiji came to Tamil Nadu. So in Madras, Marina Beach, the meeting was held. Many took place. It became convergence. Many came from different parts of the country, came to Madras, and they voiced against the Rowlatt Act. So on 18th March 1990, Gandhiji addressed a meeting on Marina Beach. On 6th April 1919, Hardal was organized, strike was organized to protest against the Black Act. Protest demonstrations were held at several parts of Tamil Nadu. Processions from many areas of the city converged in the Marina Beach, where there was a large gathering in Marina Beach. They devoted the whole day to fasting, prayer in the Marina Beach. Madras Satyagraha Sabha was formed. Rajaji, Kasturi Ranga, Satyamurthy and George Joseph addressed the meeting. So a separate meeting of workers was addressed by Kalyana Sundaram. He was fondly called as Thiruvika. Okay, B.B. Vadia and VOC. An important aspect of the movement was that the working classes, students and women took part in large numbers. So what was the important, significant about the meeting? A large number of women took part in that, students took part in that, workers took part in that meeting. So next let's see about George Joseph. Actually he born in Kerala, Alappuzha district actually, but he came to Madurai and settled here in Madurai. He wanted to serve as a people lawyer. So he was fondly called by the people as Rosapu Durai. So by the people of Madurai, not only people of Madurai, the whole of Tamil Nadu used to call him as Rosapu Durai. Who was called as Rosapu Durai? George Joseph, whose native was Alappuzha, Kerala. So now let's see about Claphat Moment. Already we have seen much about Claphat Moment. It was started by the Ali brothers, Maulana Muhammad Ali and Maulana Shaukat Ali. Maulana Muhammad Ali and Maulana Shaukat Ali started the Claphat Moment when the Caliph of Turkey, his power, the ruler of the Muslims were called as Caliph. Actually the Turkey Caliph, he was the head of whole Muslim community of the world, but his power was got from him, removed from him. So in order to regain the power of Caliph of Turkey, this movement, Claphat Moment, was started by the Ali brothers. We have seen in the Gandhi lesson already, and even Gandhiji gave his support to them. So in 17 April 1920, with the meeting presided over by Maulana Shaukat Ali, another such conference was held at Erode. Vaniambadi was as the epicenter of the important center, main center of the Claphat Moment in Tamil Nadu was Vaniambadi. Okay, now let's see about non-cooperation movement. Tamil Nadu was active during the non-cooperation movement. C. Rajaji and E.V. Ramasamy, already we have seen this too, provided the leadership. Rajaji worked closely with Yaqub Hasan, founder of the Madras branch of the Muslim League. Who was Yaqub Hasan? He was a founder of Madras Muslim League. As a result, the Hindus and the Muslims cooperated closely during the course of the movement in Tamil Nadu. So during this course of movement, now Muslim and the Hindus they worked together. So next, let's see about no tax campaigns and temperance movement. What is the temperance movement? A movement that was started against liquor. Okay, you all know what is liquor. Okay, so as part of the non-cooperation movement, in many places farmers refused to pay taxes. What is non-cooperation movement? Already we have seen very clearly about non-cooperation movement. So the farmers refused to pay taxes to the British government. So no tax campaign took place in Tanjavur. Councils, schools and courts were refused to attend, and foreign goods were boycotted. There were a number of worker strikes all over region, many of them led by nationalist leaders. One of the important aspects of the movement in Tamil Nadu was the temperance movement or movement against liquor. In November 1921, it was decided to organize civil disobedience. Okay, so Rajaji, Subramania Sastri and EVR were arrested. The visit of Prince Wales, already this too we have seen in the previous lesson. The visit of Prince Wales, Wales Prince was boycotted, it was refused. Okay, so the non-cooperation movement was withdrawn in 1922, but it was withdrawn in the year 1922 after the Chowri Chowra incident. You all know about Chowri Chowra incident. Nearly 22 policemen were killed in that incident. So after that, Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement. Now let's see about the rivalry between Swarajists and Justice. Following the withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement, the Congress was divided into no changes and pro changes. This also we saw. No changes. Those who did not want any change, they wanted to follow such movements. But pro changes means those who want to bring changes in their approach to get freedom. So pro changes and no changes. Is it understood? So, along with Kasturi Rangar and M.A. Ansari, Rajaji advocated the boycott of the councils. Opposition to this led to the formation of the Swaraj Party. So, thus the Swaraj Party was formed. Okay. So, within the Congress by Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru. Motilal Nehru started Swaraj Party, that too we saw in the previous lesson. So, what you have to understand here, during the time of freedom struggle, our contribution, Tamil Nadu contribution, same movements followed all over India. Here too same movement was started and followed, but here the leaders are Tamilians, and who are the leaders and which are the places it took place we are seeing. Is it understood? So, Subrayan ministry. In Madras provincial elections held in the year 1926, the Swarajists won the majority of the elected seats. However, it did not accept office in accordance with the Congress policy. Instead, they supported an independent Subrayan to form the ministry. So, they supported the independent elector Subrayan. The Swarajists did not contest the 1930 elections, leading to an easy victory for the Justice Party. The Justice Party remained in office till 1937. Till in the 1937, the Justice Party were, administered Tamil Nadu. So now let's see about Simon Commission boycott. We all know about Simon Commission too. Okay, in all white people commission actually it was. No Indian was given permission to be in the commission. No Indian was permitted to be the member of the commission. So it was boycotted. It was brought by Simon. So 27, a statutory commission was constituted under Sir John Simon to review the Act of 1919. To review the Act of Rowlatt Act, actually it was brought, but there was no Indian. So, in Madras, the Simon Boycott Propaganda Committee was set up with S. Satyamurthy. Who was the leader here? Satyamurthy. The arrival of Simon Commission in Madras. So, all over India the Simon Commission went. Wherever the commission went, the commission saw the picketing and the boycott of people, everything. When it came to Tamil Nadu, when it came to Chennai, in February 1929, black flags were waved against, to show their opposition for the commission. Agitation for removal of Neil statue in the year 1927. James Neil of the Madras Fusilier. Fusil, what is fusil? It's a long gun, musket, we call it as musket, a long gun. The soldiers in the front carry this fusil in their hand. He is a fusilier. Fusilier means a musketeer. Okay, who? James Neil. Was brutal in wreaking vengeance. He wanted to take revenge because many English people, children were killed during the great revolt that took place in the year 1857. So that vengeance was in the mind of, in the heart of James Neil. 1857 Great Revolt. Don't forget, this is a very great important event. Great Revolt. So he was very rude and his brutal action against the Indians, okay, in which many English women and children were killed in the Great Revolt of 1857. Neil was later killed by an Indian sepoy. So his brutal action, what happened? An Indian sepoy killed him. So his statue was kept after his death. His statue was kept in Madras, but people agitated against. They felt that it is a humiliation to keep his statue here in Madras. So later it was removed from there and it was kept, it was taken to the Madras Museum. So next let's see about civil disobedience movement towards Purna Swaraj, a complete Swaraj. Swaraj, a you all know what is Swaraj, a self-administration, self-rule. So the Madras session of the Indian National Congress in 1927 declared complete independence as its goal. In the 1929 Lahore session of the Congress, Purna Swaraj was adopted as the goal, and 26 January 1930 the national flag was hoisted by Jawaharlal Nehru. So that is why till today, already I told you in the previous class, 26 January 1930 it was, our flag was, Indian flag was hoisted. So even today we celebrate our Republic Day on every year on 26 January because the first complete Swaraj, after they declared complete Swaraj, the flag was hoisted in that particular day. So that particular day is still observed as Republic Day here in India. Okay. So Salt March to Vedaran, we have seen about Salt March by Gandhiji. Okay, Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi. Okay, here in Vedaranyam, Tamil Nadu, how it was carried out by the Tamilian leaders. Let's see. When the Viceroy did not accept the demands put forward by Gandhiji, he launched the civil disobedience movement, we know. Rajaji organized and led a Salt Satyagraha march to Vedaranyam. The march started from Tiruchirappalli on 13th April 1930 and reached Vedaranyam in Tanjore on 28th April. A special song was composed for the march by Namakkal V. Ramalinganar with the lines, "A war is ahead, sans word, sans bloodshed." It was a very famous song by Namakkal Ramalinganar. Kattiyindri, Rattamindri, Yuddhamondru varugithu, Satyathin Nithiyathai Nambum Yarum Servir. This is the Tamil, song composed, written by Namakkal Kavignar. So what I read here in English was the translation actually. So it was an inspired song, it inspired the people of Tamil Nadu. So despite a brutal crackdown with the police, the marching Satyagrahis were provided a warm reception along the route from Vedaranyam, okay, till they reach Vedaranyam. along the people, wherever, the path, the whole path, the people who stood, who welcomed the salt satyagraha. Okay, so TSSS Rajan Rukmani Lakshmipati, Sardar Vedaratanam, Swaminathanar and K. Sandhanam were among the prominent leaders who participated in the Vedaranyam salt satyagraha along with Rajaji. These were the important leaders who took part in the salt satyagraha. Next, let's see about widespread agitation in Tamil districts. The satyagrahis under the leadership of T. Prakasam and K. Nagaswara Rao set up a camp at Udayavanam near Madras. Okay, so however the police arrested them. It led to a hardal in Madras. The clashes with the police in Thiruvallikeni, which lasted for 3 hours on 27 April 1930, left 3 dead. So 3 were killed in that procession. Volunteers who attempted to offer salt satyagraha in Rameshwaram were arrested. Many were arrested, and mill workers struck work across the province of Madras, and women participated enthusiastically. Rukmani Lakshmipati was the first woman to penalty for violation of salt laws. Okay, as she violated the salt law, she was laid penalty. She was asked to pay the penalty. Police used brutal force to suppress the movement. Bhashyam, popularly known as Arya, hoisted the national flag atop Fort St. George on 26 January 1932. So these are the protests that took place, okay, in favor of salt satyagraha here in Tamil Nadu. And who are the prominent leaders we saw. Now let's see about martyrdom of Tirupur Kumaran. On 11th January 1932, a procession carrying a national flags. So all were carrying national flags, okay, and singing patriotic songs. On the procession, they were singing patriotic songs. It also was brutally suppressed by the British government. Okay, so in that incident, Tirupur Kumaran was killed. Okay, he was killed. It was actually a riot, and he was killed in that procession. So he was, even when he died, he was holding the flag. So he was called Kodikatha Kumaran. In Tamil we called him as a Kodikatha Kumaran. Okay. Next, let's see about first Congress ministry. In the 1937 election, the Congress emerged victorious. The Justice Party was trounced. So we saw about Justice Party, how it came into power. But after the election that took place in the year 1937, Congress won in a majority of places. Congress victory in the elections clearly indicated its popularity with the people. Rajaji formed the first Congress ministry after the election 1937. Rajaji formed the ministry. He introduced prohibition on an experimental basis in Salem. To compensate for the loss of revenue, he introduced a sales tax. When the British involved India in the Second World War without consulting the elected Congress ministries, the latter resigned. So, even after the ministry was formed under the leadership of Rajaji, what happened in the Second World War that took place in the year 1939, many soldiers of Indian were involved in Second World War, but they did not get any permission from the Congress. So, the ministry was dissolved. As a protest, the whole ministry was dissolved. So, next let's see anti-Hindi agitation. So, one of the controversial measures of Rajaji took, it was actually introduced by Rajaji. Okay, it created a huge controversy here in Tamil Nadu because many did not like the Hindi as a part of education here in Tamil Nadu. So, this was considered to be a form of Aryan and North Indian imposition, detrimental to Tamil language. So, we had a, here in Tamil Nadu, people, the leaders were in the thought, even people were in the thought that it is the imposition by the Aryan. Okay, so North Indian Aryan, Brahmins especially. So, they did not want to follow the Hindi subject introduced here in Tamil Nadu. So, EVR led a massive campaign. E.V. Ramasamy Periyar. He organized an anti-Hindi conference at Salem. It formulated a definite program of action. The Scheduled Caste Federation and the Muslim League extended at its support to the anti-Hindi agitation. Even the Muslim people were with the side of Tamilians. Okay, Nadarajan and Thalamuthu, two of the enthusiastic agitators, died in prison. They were put in prison as they protest against the Hindi imposition here in Tamil Nadu. A rally was organized from Tiruchirappalli to Madras. More than 1,200 protesters, including EVR, were arrested. After the resignation of the Congress ministry, the governor of Madras, who took over the reins of administration, removed Hindi. But after that, Hindi was removed, okay, totally by the governor who took charge of Madras presidency. So let's see about Quit India struggle. Quit India, go out of India. Quit means what? Go away. Okay. So Quit India movement. Vellayane in Tamil we call it as Vellayane Veliyeru Iyakam. So on 8th August 1942, the Quit India resolution was passed and Gandhiji gave the slogan, do or die. Okay. The entire Congress leadership was arrested overnight. K. Kamaraj, while returning from Bombay, noticed that at every railway station, the police waited to arrest the people who took part in the meeting. So, Kamaraj gave the police the slip and got down at Arakonam itself. He did not come to Madras. In Arakonam itself, he got down. He then worked underground and organized people during the Quit India movement. So, now we have seen about Kamaraj entry in the freedom struggle, Quit India movement. So, he fought, okay, in the Quit India movement against British. Let's see about undying mass movement. Theerada Makkal Iyakam. Undying mass movement in Tamil Nadu. All sections of the society participated in the movement. Already we have seen women, college students, even children. Okay, and the working class people, took part in the struggle of freedom. And there were a large number of worker strikes, such as strikes in Buckingham and Carnatic Mills, Madras Port Trust, Madras Corporation and the Electric Tramway. So, students of various colleges took active part in the protest. Many young men and women also joined the INA, okay, Indian National Army. The Quit India movement was suppressed with brutal force, but Quit India movement was suppressed, okay, by the British with a brutal force. The Royal Indian Navy mutiny, the negotiations initiated by the newly formed Labour Party government in London. Already we have seen that Labour Party won in England, and after that we got freedom. So, India's independence, but sadly with the partition of the country. So, but what happened? We got independence, but before independence, India and Pakistan was one nation, but in the year 1947, we got independence after the partition of Pakistan. That was a sad, really a sad incident. Okay. So, with this, this lesson came to an end. Dear students, I hope you would have understood the whole lesson. Thanks for watching. Let me see you in the next video soon. Thanks for watching.